Hi. Okay, so I'm going to do my nails. I'm going to actually show you guys how to apply a natural tip and then do French nails on a natural tip. So to start off with, I need to prep my nail. Okay, so using a high grit file, kind of anything above kind of 260 would be great. So we want to gently remove the top layer of the nail. Okay, filing backwards and forwards, up and down. We don't want to file too much across this way because it can actually do damage to the nail. So we're filing across just like that. Okay guys, so I've done my nail prep. Now the next thing we have to do is size our tips. Okay, so I'm using a natural tip. Okay, that's what a natural tip looks like with a half well. Now I want the tip to fit on nicely, just like that, and I want it to fit from side to side. Okay, can you see that? Alright, we're going to glue it on. Just like that. Now we're going to place it on the nail, hold it at an angle like that, and then push down upon it. Okay, so this is going to almost guarantee a nice firm fit, a nice firm adhesion. It's going to push any air bubbles out of the glue. I wish that my camera was a little bit clearer so you guys could see that, but hopefully you can see that. Usually you need to hold down for a good 10 to 30 seconds depending on your glue. Okay, so that's nicely attached. So I'll carry on and do the rest. Okay guys, so those are my tips stuck on. As you can see, they're very, very long. I'm not going to keep them that long, but I'm now going to cut them down. That might be too blurry, but you can see there that the tips go from side to side quite nicely. Okay, so I'm going to cut those down. Slightly better length. Sorry guys, got the flu. There we are guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start blending. Now when you stick the tips on, so I'm just tidying up my mess guys. When you stick the tips on you can still actually see where the glue, where the tip actually is sitting. So I want to actually blend that in so that I can no longer see where the line is. Okay, so I'm using a product called Dissolve, NSI Dissolve, okay, which is really great. It's actually going to slightly, I suppose you could say, eat into the actual acrylic tip, but that's okay because we're just going to put it on a very, very small area on what we call the contact area. So the contact area is where we've applied the tip to the nail, so we're just going to apply the liquid there. And this is just going to soften that tip, so it's a lot easier for us to blend our tips. We want to try and avoid filing the nail when we're blending. We want to make sure that we only just file the actual tip. So as you can see there, I'm not actually touching the nail, I'm only touching the tip. Blend, blend, blend. And then I also want to etch that tip a little bit so that my acrylic has actually got something to stick to. Gosh, this looks really way too bright in my camera, so I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's a nice blended tip. I've always got my nail brush handy to keep the dust away. See if you can see that, guys. Hopefully you can see that. Okay guys, so all of my tips are blended. Now what I need to do now is actually prep the nail with some product. So I'm using NSI Nail Pure. Now the main ingredient in this is isopropyl alcohol. So what this is actually going to do, sorry guys I can't talk tonight. What this is actually going to do is it's going to dehydrate the nail bed and remove any oils that is in the nail. And it's going to also help with bacterial growth so we don't have to worry about infections. Okay, so we're just brushing that all over the entire nail. So it kind of goes on wet, but then it really dries, really, really dry looking. Okay, that's a good sign. We want our dehydrator to dehydrate the nails, as you can see there. Now the next thing I'm going to apply is NSI Attraction Primer. Okay, if you guys can see that there. Alright, so now this one doesn't dry, like it doesn't dry like this, like a chalky white, this just stays quite wet looking. Okay, so we're applying that over the entire nail surface. We leave this product to dry for a minute or so, and then we can begin applying our acrylic. So I'm going to be doing a French today. Now I've actually just custom blended a pink powder for myself, using NSI Attraction powders. And I actually just went ahead and added a ratio of probably 4 to 1, so 4 parts powder to 1 part pigment. I'm using an eyeshadow pigment powder. It's BYS Shimmer Powder in Pink Bliss, you guys can see that. And so I just mixed it in this little dish here, okay? Just wanted to try something a little bit different, that's all. Okay guys, so that's my product all applied. You can see that, hopefully it's not too dark. Okay, now I need to get into my filing. Now I'm going to be using the endurance files. NSI endurance files in, oh, you can hardly see that anymore, in the 100 grit. Okay, so this is kind of like what I call the fat look. Okay, that's what it looks like after you've applied your acrylic. So I'm just simply going to file. Filing down, I want, now the shape that I'm after is I want kind of like flush against the cuticle, coming to a high point across the centre, and then tapering back off again. Okay, now we want it flush at the cuticle because this is going to minimise lifting. We want a high point through the centre, approximately twice the thickness, I think is a good idea. Twice the thickness as anywhere else on the nail. We want that right in the middle, just behind the smile line. Okay, the reason we want this is because that is going to encourage strength. It balances the nail out. So it's vital that we have that thickness just behind the smile line there. Okay, I'm also going to shape my sidelines, yep. Now we don't want them to taper out, okay? That's what I call fat nails or fanned nails. We want the lines down the side here to be parallel up and down like that on my own nails. Gives me a really great square shape. Okay, and making sure to file around that cuticle area. We want that to be totally flush with the real nail bed underneath. Okay, we don't want to be able to see where the acrylic starts and where the real nail starts. We want that to be blended all together. Okay. So looking down the barrel of the nail, which is looking down that way, okay, we want the layer of acrylic to be very even across the top. Looking from the side, we want it to be flush down here at the cuticle, coming to a point around here and then tapering off again. Okay guys, so I've done all of my filing. I'm so happy with these nails. The colour is just beautiful. So I'll really see the finished colour when I've got my glaze and go on. Side glaze and go. So it's a gel top coat. I simply paint it on. Oh yeah, I'm so happy with that colour. Such a beautiful colour. And then the other thumb. So if I try and put one hand in underneath the gel light, because the thumb kind of sits on an angle as it goes in, it doesn't quite, the gel moves a bit and gives you an uneven finish. So you always do the 4 fingers on one hand and the thumb on the other hand, and then you swap over. Nice coat of the glaze and go. And then underneath the UV light. Okay guys, so that's the finished look. That is my nails done. I hope you can see that okay. So last thing to do of course is to apply nurture oil, or you know, an oil of your choice. But I love nurture oil, it's really delicious. All done. There we go. Okay guys, well thanks for watching. I know that the light might have been a little bit funny, so I hope you guys actually were able to see the video okay. So I'll take some photos and have a look at my next video, because I'm now going to do a little bit of nail art on these nails. Okay guys, bye.